Ready?
Yep. Ready, Freddie?
Ready, Freddie?
At this time, we call to order the City of Shamokin Council meeting Monday, November 18th, 2024. We'll recite the pledge of flag and have a moment of silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. Okay, Mr. Slavy, when you're ready, roll call.
Councilman Jennings.
Yes.
Here. Mr. McLaughlin.
Here.
Councilwoman Moyer.
Here.
Councilman Taylor.
Here.
Mayor Olvey.
Here.
All present and accounted for.
Okay, at this time, do we have any presentations?
No, sir.
Any bids?
No, sir.
Correspondence?
No, sir.
Is there any citizens' comments contingent upon business listed on the agenda? Okay, under minutes, a motion to accept the minutes of the City of Shamokin Council meeting of October 14th, 2024, our regular council meeting.
So,
I second.
Okay, first and second, anything on the question?
Mr. Began.
I have a question. I guess I don't know if this is the right place to ask, but at the same time, is it possible that we can get the minutes and the bill pay list with the agenda on Fridays when you send that out?
I don't see why we wouldn't.
I think it would be helpful that we could read over those minutes and see the agenda or the bill pay prior to tonight.
probably be, Michelle, is that something you could do?
It's.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Now, they're not the official minutes till they get approved. They're like a draft.
Correct.
Of the minutes.
Yeah.
Right, right.
And that would be the question, so yes.
Okay. Mr. Gaddis.
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin.
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
Mayor Olvey.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimous.
Okay, under bills, motion to approve the bills from October 2024 as listed on the bill list. I'll make that motion.
Don't everybody. One time,
Do
the
we
school
have
system.
a second?
Okay, who made the motion?
I,
Okay.
We all.
And who seconded?
Mrs. Moore.
Anything on the question?
Mr. Gaddis.
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin.
yes.
Mrs. Moyer.
Yes.
Mr. Taylor.
Yes.
And Mayor Olvey.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimous. I answered the correspondence, you said citizens, minutes are done, bills are done.
Yep, now the directors.
Okay.
All right, Mrs. Moyer.
Thank you, Mayor. This is the treasurer's report for October 2024. The total general fund balance as of November 1st, $869,207.85. Total motor license balance, $243,521. Total library balance, $206,425.99. Total sinking fund number 1 balance, $221,109.23. Total sinking fund number 2 recreation balance, $282,762.86. Total street lighting balance, $9,217.73. Total American Legion balance, $545.17. Total Neighborhood Mitigation Fund, $26,452.26. Total Code Department credit card amount, $5,294. Total Police Department credit card amount, $2,304.26, for a total balance in all accounts, $1,866,840.35. And thank you to Mrs. Smith.
Is that everything?
That is for you right now.
All right, thank you. Parks and Public Buildings.
First, I'd like to say, thank you for keeping up to your end of the bargain there, Mayor. The students really, they got a kick out of shaving your head. So, our high school football team, I'd like to say kudos, congratulations to them. They had a wonderful time. But not just our high school football teams, our youth football teams in the area brought back the mini cold buckets. Sorry, Bob, nothing that you can do about it in your area there. Our soccer team, I'm not sure if that's the pickaxe or the shovel. Well, the soccer team won, and so did the volleyball team won. So their trophy case is very full this year. So they did a magnificent job. And I also have to say congratulations to the band. The band, they did the cavalcade of bands. They did an American Clash Champs, overall score of 90 over 90. Atlantic Coast Champs. They did a beautiful job this year. They brought, with all these kids, brought a lot of pride back into Shamokin. It's wonderful to see. Can't say enough. Speaking of the kids, the teenagers, I should say, FiOS will be decorating downtown next Monday, November 25th. We'll be putting the decorations on Market Street. They'll be decorating downtown. That'll be in the morning. So got a hold of them. I'll be there coordinating them. We'll probably do what we did last year. We'll put the lights up, put the deer up, decorations on Market Street and stuff like that. Our Christmas Parade Festival is December 7th from 11 to 3. If anybody's interested, speak to Jeannie Schaefer. She can guide you there. Can't wait for that. Mrs. Brown will be bringing back the awards for the best decorated houses for Christmas this year. So she'll be going around town, and if you win, she'll have a nice decoration for you saying you're the best in show of the city of Shamokin. So I thank Mrs. Brown for bringing that back. I'd like to say thank you to the Sabre organization, Mr. McGugan, Mr. Stansbury, Mr. Persing, Mr. Weichel, and many other volunteers. The statue on the 99 steps has been placed on a pedestal, thanks to Mr. Persing and, Mr. Weichel. They did that. It looks beautiful. It's not done yet. They're still going to be hooked up with electricity that's going to be lit up, and the Callaway Center graciously is donating the electricity to light up that, and it's going to look very beautiful when that sculpture is done. I've seen pictures of it lit, and it's going to look amazing.
Budget roofing for also.
Budget roofing, yes, another one. Thank you, sir. It's called Pillars, and it means pillars between our past and future. So it's a very nice, if you haven't seen it yet, it's next to the 100 steps, or 99 steps. Looks beautiful, sorry. Thank you for Kevin, Street Department. He placed all the dog waste stations within the area. We got 10 donated from the RDA. The RDA donated the money to Far Better Together, and Far Better Together purchased the dog waste stations, got them over to the warehouse, and Kevin put them in, I'd say within 24 hours after they came into the warehouse. And that's a big asset. I've seen them around, and I've actually seen people use them. So that's a plus. Also, the community gardens, they've been doing a lot of work on Sunbury Street across from Dunkin' Donuts. If you look over there, that is really looking to take shape. That, they have private donations, private grants that have been getting that funded, and it looks beautiful. And they're looking to get that up and going by spring. Met with Matt McMullen and Andrew, I forgot Andrew's last name, from Bucknell, over at the pool. We met over there for looking to put solar panels on the roof to help alleviate the electricity costs of the pool. And hopefully, even when the pool's not being used, we're looking to see if there's any way that we can generate that money to either bank it for when we do use it, or can we use it and I'll let you know, Brenda, whatever comes back with that. I want to say thank you to Brenda and Val for working with us, trying to get all the information we need to get these grants going. So thank you very much. And last but not least, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Thank you, sir.
I mean, my name's Yusuf.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Streets and public improvements.
So Council Budonics took care of the dogway station, so we're good there. The street department closed and winterized Claude Caver Park. They also have the playgrounds winterized, whatever, I'm not even sure what all they do on winterizing the playgrounds, but everything's done on the playgrounds. We had 2 blocks of Commerce Street paved this past week, which I believe are that is the only paving project we're getting done this week. There was another one postponed because of excavation that's gonna be done in the spring. Cleaned up, they're still in the process of cleaning up all the leaves. Started putting up the Christmas decorations yesterday, so hopefully that will be, Friday. So hopefully that'll be done in the next 2 weeks. 4 trucks are ready to go with spreaders and plows for any future snow. I attended and I'm not sure if this is a Betsy, if Betsy's gonna do anything on this, but I did attend the 8th Street Bridge meeting.
Mhm.
And there was more conversation about traffic issues and accidents at 8th and Lincoln and 8th and Water than there really was about the bridge project. But at the same time, one big thing that came up were the possibility of adding small signs that were a little bit more definitive on traffic patterns. Like if you're coming down Lincoln to the stop sign here, it'll say traffic does not stop from the right, so that they know there's not to expect traffic to stop. It was a recommendation by be it PennDOT or the gentleman from the bridge contractor. Kevin was ordering signs. It was 3 signs already ordered, and they'll probably be up by the end of this year to help alleviate any issues. There was no traffic study needed for that one. The other concern was the bottom of the bridge at 8th and Water. They'd like to see a stop sign coming on 8th Street from Independence. They were actually talking about also one coming down from Lincoln, but that was deemed not safe for winter travel especially. So Chief Psycho, I spoke to Chief Psycho. We need to do a traffic study on that intersection. He's going to try to get that done sometime here in the somewhat near future. And if it all goes well, we'll probably we'll speak about that at the meeting, but we try to get that done prior to the bridge construction. They want to try to get that traffic issue resolved before they do the construction. And it didn't seem anything ridiculous on my side, so that's.
Did they give like a term limit how long that bridge is gonna be out, or anything like that?
The answer is 1 construction season. So they're pretty much saying from spring to fall. So they're 6 to 8 months. There were lots of good questions about the interference with downtown, with the downtown Independence Street project. They're going to contact, who was that?
It's from Revere Associates. They were on that call too. So we make sure that everybody on this call together coordinating.
They're most certainly all speaking and conversing together. Hopefully they can get the bypass, the detour, that there were some questions on the detour, that they're most certain that they're taking everything into consideration. Hopefully by the time it starts, we'll be in good shape.
And they're coordinating with Aqua too, because we're getting up Independence Street, so they're all coordinating together.
And I believe on my side of it, one thing I'd like to add to Mike Dugan's comments are about the city of Shamokin and the Shamokin High School and their sports program. Kudos also to our local citizens and the businesses for going above and beyond on the decorating. I mean, I think it's just absolutely wonderful seeing all the purple and white and jumping on that bandwagon and supporting the children. Needless to say, the students gave us the reason, and everyone most certain that I think everybody deserves kudos there. And that's it for me.
And next year he'll be shaving his head.
Oh, I think all of us should.
He got dyed purple.
Yeah.
How about a mohawk?
You beat the cheerleader.
I can still do it.
All right, public safety.
Okay, we'll start off with the fire report. Service calls from October is 4. Fire calls is 22. Fire alarms is 4. Emergency services is 7. Special incident 6. Malfunctions 1 for a total of 44. Working fires 4. Gave mutual aid 14 and received mutual aid 5. Code office monthly report for October. Rental revenue $775. Rental registrations $775. Parking permits $1,085. Other permit $2,458. Dumpster permit $350. Heller's permit is $10. Third party inspector is $798. Excavating permit is $1,300 for a total of $4,318. Complaints addressed 141. Notice of violations sent is 40. Citations written is 32. Landlord inspection complete is 19. Posted unfit is 4. Fire calls 5. Warnings is 34. And the only thing I have is we met with Pierce to go over about the fire truck prices and stuff like that. Me and Mike actually sat for like 2 hours and discussed all the goodies and stuff. And then also, I don't know if everybody knows, but the cleanup on 6th Street had to be done. I was over talking to Beansy for a little while. And he's pretty well almost getting done. I mean, he has to fill in, I guess, backfill it and bust up the floor and stuff. But other than that, it's pretty well on its way to finally. And that's all I have.
Thank you. All right, we will now ask our treasurer.
I have nothing here, thank you.
Well, thank you.
Mayor, the controller.
Yes.
contacted me, and he and his family are out of facility.
She cycle?
For the month of October, we had 2 juvenile petitions, 35 criminal arrests, 12 citations, 16 traffic citations, 314 parking tickets, 226 sweeper tickets, 9 tow tickets, for total calls of 1,442. Miles patrol were 3,404. One of the new vehicles is in service. It came in, we have it all done. It came back from the radio shop and stuff like that. So that's all done. We have a letter that's in service because they have a choice. So we only have 2 vehicles left right now. The other vehicles, I've been pretty much calling Zimmerman on a daily basis, and we still have no idea where they're at. So I'm working on that the best I can.
Chief, I have a question.
It is.
Chief, I have a question.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Could you, and again, I know I'm new with this, but for the sake of the public, could you just give us a rundown, like when you cite someone, especially on the criminal side of the code, some kind of time frame, like what happens from the time you do it till the time we get to the magistrate?
No, I really can't. If you have a code violation, after it goes through its summaries, if it's turned over to a criminal act, basically it's filed as a criminal charge. The criminal charge then goes up to the local magistrate. With that, can't even begin to give a time frame.
Just, I mean, Ray's right. I mean, the magistrate's calendar is dictated by the number of cases, obviously. You heard the number of arrests, but that's just the city, Cole Township, the state police are also filing criminal charges. So it's not like the magistrate is delaying having those hearings. Then you may have a continuance filed by the
Either
defendant to get counsel, and the district attorney, an attorney, so that delays it. From the preliminary hearing, if it's not resolved there, it gets down to our county court system. From there, our county is in a backlog, and with roughly 1,500 to 2,000 cases, criminal cases a year filed, it just gets in the bog down there. I mean, the county's doing everything possible. COVID really set the county back with jury trials, criminal proceedings, because you couldn't get people in rooms together. So there's a backlog. So there's no magic time frame like Ray or myself can't say, well, from the time his department files it, it'll be resolved in 9 months. I mean, there's discovery. There's a whole multitude of reasons why it gets.
We're in 2024. I just had a 2019 case.
Right.
Okay, and by no means am I looking at like blame. It was just more, when I talk to the public, they are constantly on why does it take so long?
Yeah.
And I would rather them hear it in a public meeting than me just trying to explain to them that the wheels of justice do not necessarily move fast.
No. And the other thing is, when you have, for example, our department, you just read about the crimes we investigate. They're top priority and getting filed. You have to understand that the guys, in addition to their patrol work, they're the ones that have to file these, they're the ones that have to prepare for court and everything else. And it is time consuming. It's very time consuming. But unfortunately, I wish I could, but like I said, I just had one from 2019.
And that goes to say that I've already had a neighbor come up saying, well, the cops are there at the station. Yeah, they have to fill out paperwork.
Yeah,
They have to do paperwork.
They don't understand that when we file a set of criminal charges, basic criminal charges, you're talking maybe an hour if you're extremely lucky between the phone ring and leaving for calls. Maybe. If you have an actual criminal case that is in a duration, you could work on it for 3 weeks.
And that's just
Because that's just one. Because you're talking logging of evidence, you're talking logging of body cameras, you're talking logging of vehicle camera footage, the investigation, if you had to interview 10 people, adding all interviews into that. And people don't understand that. Yeah, I mean, they see cars at the station, but believe it or not, sometimes you'd have to go to the bathroom. It's just the way it is. But what people don't understand is guys are stopping to go to the bathroom, they're running to go to the bathroom. When they come out, they have 5 people in the lobby and the phones are ringing off the hook. So that's in addition to everything else.
Okay, thank you. That's
No problem.
just wanted to get that out there.
Yeah, it's so hard to even with the case, and Judge Zelinski's is the busiest magistrate in the county. And we are the busiest department in his magistrate's district. So you're talking 5 to 9,000 calls. Yeah. But it's hard. The other thing is too, and I'm glad you brought it up, because a lot of time we get, well, the police were there and nothing happened. I said it before, I'll say it again, tell them to call me. Because unfortunately, some cases, we can't go through 2 commercials and make an arrest. It takes time, investigations take time, and a lot of times, people are misconstrued about being charged, being arrested, being incarcerated. Because too many times, people see on TV, people get handcuffed and go to jail because they threw a can in the street. That doesn't happen in the real world. That just doesn't happen. And people associate with someone not leaving in handcuffs that nothing was done. And it's just educating, and I'm glad that's the best we can do is educate everyone that we know.
Well, and actually, you touched on something there also on the call. Because I have probably in my short 2 months here talked to 12 people and said, have you called the police station or talked to Mr. Rogers in the code office? And they were like, no. And, well, if you're complaining on Facebook or you're talking to me, that should be, the first thing should have been Chief Psycho or Mr. Rogers. And
See, the thing about it is, and I go through this all the time. I go to Walmart to try and get milk, and I have 50 people stop me and tell me about everything that occurred in Shamokin 3 months ago. But nobody called the police.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I stress, call. Okay, call. You need to call because it's important. And the second part of that is, too many times we're getting, well, the police don't do nothing. No, because there's sometimes that it is not illegal what they're reporting. And again, it comes down to education, because they think because they did something, they should be arrested. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. And I'm glad, and the only way we can do is educate people, but they're not going to find us out unless they call. Because if they call, depending on what happens, an officer's going to do a follow-up. This is what happened, this is why we couldn't, or this is what's going to happen within means, because we can't discuss cases. So.
okay,
But
no, I
education is the
appreciate
way to
that.
go.
And I agree on the education part, and we might even be able to, possibly in our code of the week, we can do a note about make sure that you notify the proper authorities as opposed to complain.
And unfortunately, the same thing is too, we have our neighbor battles and people call the police 10 times on their neighbor. Problem is, if there's no law broken, we just can't arrest somebody because they call it, like it isn't a magic number. 3, you get arrested. 10, you get arrested. And that's what they get agitated with us. And the point about it is, I said this a long time ago, we are changing someone's life drastically. We have to make sure every I is dotted and every T is crossed. And sometimes it don't go fast enough for people. Then again, people hear things and it's totally untrue. And like, again, we can be conducting an investigation. That person or persons may be free because we have to wait until a solid investigation is completed. And a lot of times people don't understand. And I understand their frustration, don't get me wrong. But I'd rather than take a minute to call or stop one of our guys and ask them, hey, why does this happen? Because it's about education. That's what stopped a lot of problems with, well, the police aren't doing anything. It's a little bit easier that way.
I think the last council meeting, I brought that up about when we meet with Fagley, Mr. Fagley, Mr. Rogers, they all are dealing with the same problem. People are not coming into City Hall to educate themselves in what is needed to be done. So thank you.
And the other point of it is people get confused with civil litigation, code enforcement, and criminal law. And that's another big problem too that they get confused with. And like I said, I have no problem. If someone has a question, call our station. Somebody will talk. I'd rather have someone educated than someone put my guys and gals down.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Mr. Rance.
Ready?
Oh, yeah? All right. Wait, we have to do one thing. I need to request a motion to ratify Cedar Clogg's application on behalf of the city of Shamokin for a dependent multimodal grant in the amount of $1,150,000 to fund the Independence Street downtown makeover project.
So,
Second.
Okay, first and a second, anything on the question?
We start this tomorrow?
As of now, when's the big call?
Hurry up, just sorry.
Oh, I said, what did Barry say?
Everybody looked at Mike.
So we start this tomorrow?
Okay, Mr. DeGanis,
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin,
Yes,
Ms. Meyer,
Very enthusiastic.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
and Mayor Older.
Yes,
The motion carries unanimous.
Thank you, Mayor.
thank you,
Council.
it's all yours.
Thank you. To just remind you all, that is not for the original. We already have the 2.675 million from Congress for user. This is for the next phase. So we put this in November 5th. And because the 2.675 sounds like a whole lot, but it's not gonna get us all the way. So we'll just continue to be asking for more money as it goes. So thank you for approving that. It's much appreciated. I don't want to take that back. Also, as Mike alluded to, there have been ongoing 8th Street project discussions going on. There'll be another one this Friday, as a matter of fact. So there's just, what's happening is PennDOT's doing the project for 8th Street, and we just want to make sure that we are being very conscientious about the safety measures as we're doing that. Also, something that was brought to my attention by Councilman McLaughlin, it was, what's the timeline for the comprehensive plan zoning book rewrite? I know it came up during the EDA meeting last week. I'm not sure if you were also there. So just as a reminder, this is not a seeded cut project. However, I'm kind of the nag for the city. So I contacted Michelle Bremer and I said, could you provide me with a timeline? Because it was supposed to be done by the end of this calendar year. So just as a reminder, it's not just a comp plan. We wanted to update our zoning, which was from 1964. So, and DCD is funding it, but they said, first you need to do a whole new comp plan, a comprehensive plan. And that is your, kind of your strategic plan for your next 10 years, because that's actually how you build your zoning book rewrite. It was necessary. So the comprehensive plan is going on at the same time that the zoning book rewrite's going on. And she provided, and I'm going to send this to you, she provided a 3-page detail of the timeline, but we will have the draft comp plan by next Wednesday. We knew it was getting close. Then it's on the comp plan review and adoption by March. So it's, you all are the last ones, council's the last ones to give you their okay. County has to say okay, your planning department has to say okay, and then finally you all adopt it. They're also working on the zoning right now, and that's the ordinance review and adoption by mid to late summer of 2025. And then, as I said, I will send you all the detailed 3-page, but, so you will see a draft comprehensive plan by next Wednesday, and if she just sends it to me, I'll make sure everybody gets it.
And
So
what's coming up next March?
that would be, March is when you will have to adopt by March,
the comp plan.
comprehensive plan. Sorry.
No more kids.
You're adopting children. Where's Mary? Okay, so, but once again, and as the chief said too, like for me also, any grants or any, I mean, if you text me, sometimes I don't see that. I don't get very good notification with my text. Emails though, if I see it, I try to make sure that I reach back out and let you know what's going on. And a lot of the projects that I talk about technically aren't even seeded cut projects. Independence Street makeover, technically not even a seeded cut project. What I mean by that is I'm not getting funded to do it, but I'm happy to do it. That's my job here. So speaking of the Independence Street downtown makeover project, there is going to be a large public meeting on January 30th from 6 till 7:30 at the library. And what we're doing is we're combining that meeting with the next Safe Streets for All meeting, so they'll be at the same time. We really want to get as many people out as possible, and I think this one's gonna draw more because you're gonna be able to see some of the work that's been done behind the scenes for that.
And what time is that?
6 till 7:30 at the library on January 30th.
We're gonna send out an email.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Oh, my goodness, yes. I'm in that. Another thing I want to bring up is facade grants. If you know of anybody in the downtown area, if you're curious of what area that is, Justin has a nice map of that. We have facade grants available. Please tell your friends, your family, your neighbors. And so contact Justin, he's the contact for that. Next up is, this was a disappointing one. We put in, and I'm not gonna say it's because our new legislators. However, it's all of a sudden, the magic checks have stopped. And the one that has hurt me most, I think, well, the library one was really painful because we applied for $2 million and I thought it was a good ask and we didn't get anything. But then we put in, what was it, $882,835 for the fire pumper a year ago. And I got an email, so excited that we got funded $150,000. And then I got an email that said, and in 24 hours, you need to let us know how you're gonna come up with the difference between $882,000 and $150,000. So I thought, okay, maybe what I'll do, thinking outside the box, I'll find out from the fire company, is there some same recipient, is there anything else urgent that you need that's as critical? Yes, they need air packs. So I went back to the funding source and I said, we're so grateful, thank you so much, appreciate it, but can we use those funds for air packs? They need those just as bad as, nope, they have to use it for a fire pumper. No budge. So what we've told them is officially that we are working to figure out the deficit right now. So I said, we want to still have the funds. I think they overpromised more grant dollars than what they had available. Now they're looking, well, whatever. Regardless, so Justin Bainbridge found, and I guess the fire company already knew about it, but it's FEMA's, it's Assistance to Firefighter Grant. So we're gonna put in another grant for that to help come up with the deficit and use the $150,000 for match and hope that works, because it will be a substantial amount of match. So to be continued on that, but that was very, very disappointing.
Does that have to be for a new fire truck, the 150, or it could be used for another used one?
I don't exactly know, but we can find out, because I know you sent over that one that you had found. So we could find out if you could use it for.
Especially since when we had our meeting, for a brand new one, you're on a 3-year waiting.
Yes, and that's where the big problem lies. We might not make it 3 years.
I got it. I mean, so if that's what you want to do, I mean, I can find out now if we can use the $150,000 for it.
At least for that one, that way we can get at least one, something used for now.
And then we can still apply for
Right.
one.
Right.
Oh, all right, yeah, I'll check on
I
that.
think that Randy, that was there, I think he was talking about revenue.
Yeah, I found some that were cheaper. I sent it to Kenny and he said it was a really good deal, so I don't know, I didn't get any follow back to that.
All right, I'll find out, I'll reach out tomorrow, and I'll see if I can get an answer, because that would be nice. And I'm gonna turn it over to Justin for his updates, but first of all, does anybody have any other questions? And just thanks to I've worked with, I think, all the council people this month. So, I've been around, it's been a very crazy busy month, because all of our grants are due in November, so it's been, if there's sweat dripping off me, there's a reason why. And also, thank you to Brenda and Val, they've been really helping with get all our accounts, there's so many different grants, and I know, so you see the sweat dripping off her too. And also,
Thank you for
of
helping us.
course, so what we're doing with the remaining, we have few $100,000, close to $200,000 left with our ARPA funds, this COVID ARPA funds. And we're reimbursing the city, which you're allowed to do. And that way, we'll have a little extra money for the police cruiser and different things that we're looking to, maybe for actually the bridge. So that's what we're doing, and we're allowed to pay ourselves back, so that's what we're working on right now. So without any other questions, but once again, you'll see an email from me either tonight or tomorrow, but by all means, if you have any questions at any time, you don't have to wait for a meeting, just email me, text, or call, you all have my number.
Betsy, will the people from the 8th Street Bridge, those people that are there,
Mm-hmm.
will they be coming to this meeting on the January 30th also?
Perhaps, so a lot of the people that there are part of those, so we have the Safe Streets for All Folks part of that call, we have the independent, like Stromberg areas, they're part of the call, PennDOT's part of the call, and then the engineers and different city people, and Kevin, and then Mike, so yes, a lot of them will be there too.
Okay.
Yep. All right, Justin, it's all you.
I'll start off with the volunteer park and footbridge plan. We did meet over at the volunteer park and had one-on-one interviews with stakeholders. And after we concluded that, they put together a survey, which is being distributed now in Shamokin. The news item was kind enough to put a story together on it to help get the word out to take the survey. And then the community calendar website's coming along really well. I'm in the middle of putting together a full business directory with all the information, which has taken a while. Because the information I have, there's a lot on there that aren't there anymore, so I have to update everything. And one more thing, tomorrow I want to remind everybody that tomorrow's the Blight Task Force meeting at 6 o'clock. It was moved because of election night. And that's everything I have right now.
Thank you. All right. Very cool. Anything under new business?
Just had a question. Bruce, you weren't here for the workshop part. I had put out that sheet for the citation history worksheet that we all talked about. Just something for us to use as a tool to see where things are. I don't know, did Barrett, did you talk to Bruce on that at all? I don't think. Just don't know if you want us to pick a couple of those properties, you want to do it yourself.
I don't know what you're talking.
The spreadsheet, excuse me, the spreadsheet that.
Yeah, I'm not
the
using
girls
that. I already have an Excel spreadsheet and 4 other places where I list all that stuff. That would be the 5th thing I'll have to do.
Well, that's why I said to him at the workshop that
Yeah.
you already have.
Yeah, I have all the information already.
Okay, so you can, if we ask for a specific address, you can print that out?
I'll talk to the solicitor about that and get back to you.
Okay,
Pending litigation, I mean, might just allow to get the information out, or?
Well, again, I think we just have to look at which property it is, and, I mean, if citations were filed, it's public record. So those are,
That's simple. I have an Excel spreadsheet that has every citation I issue on it.
right,
It's a matter of hitting print
that's public record.
versus doing another step and filling out another form that.
yeah, and I don't necessarily care how we get it.
If you have questions on there, you're not gonna get answers to, like amount of fines paid, I'm like, I wouldn't know that stuff. I don't have the paper with me, right?
But, yeah, no, and that's, needless to say, you weren't here, so we weren't able to get those answers. So like the fines paid, who has that?
It's probably available on the public website, but takes a little,
It's not current.
yeah, and it takes a while to get into. Zelensky's office, but again, they're the biggest, the
So-
busiest.
The fines paid wouldn't be as much my concern as much as the fines charged, so we said that, correct?
No, the judge does. 1 to 300, he picks it. $1 to $300 fine, he picks the fine then.
That was the question I had.
Okay.
No, I didn't know that.
I'm thinking there's only one or two other ones that would be more in the landlord tenant that would be higher than 300.
I always go back to when John Hendrick was there, I asked that same question one time and I was told, I seem to recall that I was told that the judge sets that. And that if you wanna argue that point, is prepared to go before a county judge. That's what I recall of that conversation. And that was when John was.
So, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I would just be confused, like if we have a property that we're on, let's say the 10th citation, wouldn't that be up to us to request that? Because how would the judge know that?
I mark on what citation level we're at.
Pardon?
I mark on what citation, first, second, third, fourth.
Okay,
When does it stop becoming a misdemeanor if they don't pay?
Goes after the third,
After the third. After conviction on the
Third.
citation.
The third conviction.
Right, it's not just the third citation, you need convictions.
So what we just talked about with not showing up at your hearing, continuing on by a time, it all
Delay.
continually adds up.
And then not to mention, sometimes the magistrate, if they say they can't pay the fine, they put them on a payment plan.
Correct.
Which is $5 or $10 a
It
month.
really is.
35 cents.
It really is that amount.
Right,
That's
it's,
what Ray and I were
Yeah, we were just
talking
talking
about. We
about
get reports.
And the thing about it is that's not a fine. That doesn't even talk about restitution or anything. You know what I mean? But like your fines, payment plan might be good for a month, then they don't pay anything for 9 months.
And Bruce gets the same things, we get that report. I can't believe the amounts that pay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's,
I mean, it's not this district judge,
it's everywhere.
it's everywhere. It's not just in the city or this magistrate.
Well, no, because we get it from the county also.
Right.
And-
Oh, yeah, the
And their
county,
payment plans, and it's ridiculous. I mean, I've already seen somebody pay $2.30. Come on.
And the other thing is, people say, well, so why can't you go to jail? Because the first thing you're gonna hear is, well, if I'm in jail, I can't make any money to pay my fine off.
Right.
And the city doesn't get that money anymore.
Mhm.
Fine money.
No, it goes to the registry.
Very little.
it's frustrating.
We need
Be vain.
Yeah, that's what's great.
We don't have any, control over the district judges.
Mike, can I ask, that list that you had or that form,
yes, sir.
what would you need that for when I make, Barry's my direct supervisor, so I had let him and Mr. Slavy, any questions they ask, I can show them. Matter of sitting down and showing them on my computer.
Well, and again, you weren't there. So I started working on this sheet back with the blight task force, just to try to get a better handle of where the properties are, how often they've been cited, so we know what we can do or what direction we need to go to try to correct if there is a law that we need help getting changed, that we know where we're hitting this brick wall, because we keep hitting the brick wall and it doesn't seem like there's any light at the end of the tunnel. So just trying to find a history on something that we can use as an example when I go to be it Representative Stair or to talk to the magistrate and just say, this is what we're hitting. What can we do to get past this? I don't know the answers. Needless to say, that's why the worksheet was gonna be another tool to try to get to that.
Well, here's even a better one for you. They have a building that's fallen down and they get charged and they pay their fine. Building's still there. So they get arrested again. Then they get charged and they pay their fine. Building's still there. And if I have that answer,
I was saying that's what the problem is.
and that's where the problem is, because everybody wants the blight taken care of. I understand that. However, there's sometimes that there's nothing there that says, okay, you must take that down. You were arrested, here's your fine, there you go, I'm paying my fine, and we're back to square one again.
Well, right, but that's the kind of input that I want to give, because truly, it's very frustrating when it seems like we're working on this and getting nowhere. And I know some of this is blight stuff, which we can bring
All
up
the
with
time.
more, but that's what I'm trying to get
How
at.
can I arrest somebody for narcotics 15 times? And they're still selling it. It's the same principle. And again, I don't want to take anything away from Mr. Greco, but the point about this is also, and Mr. Greco will attest to this, you're talking, and this is where it's real sticky, because you're basically wanting the law changed, but and like we talked about it. So you go, okay, here's what we're doing. Instead of you being fined $100, we're going to tear your building down on you, and then we're going to make you pay for it. You're talking a whole other ballgame, because you're talking about civil rights being impinged upon. It's a mess.
Any of these criminal charges, and I've talked to Bruce, and the goal is to get the problem fixed. So
Right.
sometimes a hearing will be scheduled, and we'll say to, and I've been up there, okay, we'll continue it for 30, 60 days to make you fix the problem. And they fix the problem, and in exchange, some of the charges are dropped. Because we want the problem, we don't want their money. We want the problem fixed. And that's sometimes the only leverage we have to get the problem fixed. You just have to keep banging away. They file, and that first time it's often, well, can you fix it? Well, if I had 30 days to get in there, I could put a roof or prop up the porch, or, okay, that's what we want. We don't want your money. And then we'll continue at 30 days, and a lot of times the people fix the problem, don't they, Bruce?
A lot of times, yeah.
But it's.
We get more compliance, when you work with the people and give them a little chance. And I start citing them right away, they usually, that goes the opposite way.
I'm just gonna bring it out here right now, to peel the Band-Aid off. I mean, we're getting slammed out there. I can tell you personally, I know these guys can get it too. We're getting slammed out there and we're doing nothing. All the time, because we're getting ordinances, we're putting them on the website, we're giving them ordinances. We're becoming a joke because we're not following the ordinances, and it's getting frustrating. I know I had to field a phone call from a certain person that was like, I'm washing my hands of this, because we need to start enforcing the rules that we're putting in. I mean, I understand that, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little upset because it's just like, it's always the same, and we know who the problems are. We have lots out there. We have junkyards, and we're not supposed to be a city of junkyards. But we gotta start doing something about it. If we keep ticketing them, if that's what it takes to hit them in the pocket, then let's keep hitting them in the pocket.
Yeah, but
we're not
something. Solving that trailer getting moved. And these people that are saying you aren't doing anything, and this is one of my complaints, have them call me. Because all the ordinance did with these trailers is gave us more information to work with. You just can't hook someone's private property up and take it. You can't. There is a policy you follow. Abandoned vehicles, you're talking well over a month and a half to do anything, because here's the problem. Like a house is a car. Someone owns that, and it's not us. So with the letter of the law, if it's ticketing the car, ticketing the second time, ticketing the third, filing a citation, from a citation to a criminal complaint, then that's what has to be followed. But the point about it is, during this time frame, the car ain't going nowhere. We cannot take someone's property. Now, when we go through, say, an abandoned vehicle, yes, there is certified copies sent to people. Everyone knows about it. We have to work with a licensed salver. We have to fill out paperwork in reference to that vehicle. So people don't come back to us and say, you violated my rights. illegal search and seizure. You took my vehicle. You had no right to do it. And people go, well, if the car's parked on a gas line, you can move it. Because there's a law in place. It's restricting a gas company from getting in to do work. And it's not that we just tow it. We knock on doors, we try to make phone calls. If it's the last result, yeah, we have to tow it. Totally different ballgame. And again, you're talking ordinances compared to criminal law. And that's the problem we have. So like these people who are complaining, please call me. I will try to explain it to you the best I can, because people get ordinances and they get this and that and they go, well, here it is, we have to do it. No, that ordinance just gives us more power if we have to prosecute a case or kick someone's car. And that's, Mr. Greco, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
And that's the whole thing. And I know it's frustrating. Trust me, it's frustrating. But we have to operate within the letter of the law, because we cannot jeopardize someone turning around and saying, you know, and suing me, my department, my people, the city. You know, you violated my rights. You illegally took my car from me. It's frustrating. Trust me when I tell you this.
We were in a suit over a cell phone.
Absolutely, we were, which was legally obtained. Legally
That just,
obtained.
How-
Anybody can sue you for anything.
And I agree with that,
Anything.
completely agree with that, but we can't run scared because of it either. As long as we have the legal foundation to go with.
But the legal foundation don't happen a report on Monday and done by Wednesday. And I'm not putting Barry on the spot. How long did we dot our I's and cross our T's with a situation that we were working on with you? It takes time, because we cannot take the chance, and this is protection from everybody. We cannot take the chance of someone saying, they're out to get me. Can't do it. And I'm sorry, I'm not being disrespectful. My people won't do that. We have to follow the letter of the law. We are the ones that have to swear to this in front of a judge and tell this to 12 jurors if we make it up. And again, we change people's lives. That's what's so important. But I don't want to see anyone get sued, and you can get sued for anything.
Well, and I think that's my point. We can get sued for anything.
Right.
So as long as we follow the letter of the law, we're okay.
Yes.
Okay? And I guess what I gotta get, we've gotta get to a zero tolerance, or at least I'll take that back, an almost zero tolerance, especially on repeat offenders. We've got to do whatever we can do. If it's citing every day, whatever that takes, we've gotta do it. We've gotta get to some common ground, because I do know that we're frustrated.
Oh, and I agree with that. And the second part of it is we want complaints, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if I get a complaint and I call a person, he says, Chief, I need 48 hours, it'll be off your street. I have no money to get it towed. I'm giving him 48 hours.
Right.
Now, after 48 hours, it's not moved. He's expecting what's gonna happen. There has to be that little bit there, because people do have some issues. We run in it all the time. Your car's not inspected. I don't have money to buy something. I just want to get to work. It's everywhere. However, the police have to make that decision and live by it. And again, guys on council, ladies, I know it's frustrating. But I think I'm open enough to say, these people that are bringing this up to you, call me. Stop and see me. I'll talk to anybody. And I think that will defer a little bit of the problems by me talking to them, saying, listen, it's not them. This is how the law works. We can't violate that.
Right, but our job is to try to figure out how to change that. You know, that's our job.
And the second part is there's just some things we're never going to change. There's just some things we're never going to change. And unfortunately, we have to live with it and continue to do what we're doing. I mean, I'd love to see Every night I lay in bed, I can think of about 1,000 laws I want, but it ain't gonna happen. So for right now, we can only work with what we got. That's number one. And number two, again, in law, nothing happens quick. I mean, really, nothing happens quick in prosecutions. It really doesn't.
Even if we're 100% right and we get sued, Bob, what's our deductible to send it?
$5,000.
So even if we're right and we get sued, we send it to the insurance carrier, because if there's a huge liability, at least we're covered. But we pay $5,000 to the insurance to defend us. So we're right, we're 100% right, but $5,000 goes out to defend us. That's our deductible. And why do we send it to the insurance company? Because if they got a judgment in their favor for $75,000, if we tried to defend it ourselves, the city, and we lost, the city would be on the hook for $75,000. We send it to the carrier, the insurance is paying the $75,000, not the city.
And I'm here to tell you, you can be 150% right. When you get those papers, it plays hell with you. It really does. When you get served with them papers, no matter how right you are, it plays hell with you. And I'm trying to leave that for everyone.
Give it to Bob, call the carrier, send it to our insurance carrier.
And now on top of that, and amongst everything else, I gave
Depositions?
5 depositions for this case. And there was 5 of us involved. I was the chief of police, that's why I'm in the lawsuit. And I had to give 5 depositions. Every other officer, probably around 2 or 3. And you know what? It was frivolous, but they have the right to do that. In addition to everything else, you have to go through this because they have their rights. And I'm just trying to alleviate that, because there's times if something happens when they go, no, you're 100% right, that's it. I don't want that margin of error to be present for any of us.
All right.
Okay, Mayor,
That was new business.
I'm sorry.
Unfinished.
So,
Is there any unfinished business?
no, sir.
Well,
Moving on to,
Unfinished.
I was gonna
Okay.
address it.
okay, Mayor, first of all, at this time, I would like to request, when we're done with this meeting, an executive session with council, yourself, along with the solicitor, here, and, just double check something.
For litigation and personnel.
Yes, sir. Mr. Becker, we're taking care of that, letters, the tax levy.
Yes.
Okay. So. We can
Boards and
move
committees.
boards and committees. At this time, Mr. Whiteman, as I said at the workshop, there has been a representative for the city of Shamokin on the Shamokin Cole Township Joint Sewer Authority. Term is about to expire, and he has sent to me, as I said to you a few weeks ago, a letter stating that he would be interested in being reappointed. So if the board chooses, somebody please make a motion in a second.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it then.
Anyone have any questions?
This thing,
Comments?
he put a recommendation in, did any of the other board members say it? Sign off on it?
I just said it last month,
Okay,
or I'm sorry, not last month, I said it,
2 weeks
the
ago.
workshop
2
session.
weeks ago.
Yes, that he was interested and he went through the proper procedure.
Okay.
which is to take it before the joint historic authority board.
Yeah, Bill Saylor was,
Which they sent it over here to me. So,
Sorry, I just had a break.
that's okay. Any other questions? Mr. Duganitz?
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Ms. Moyer?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
And Mayor Olber.
yes.
The motion carries. Mr. Whitman has now been appointed for an additional 5 years.
All right, moving on for our solicitors report.
Thank you, Mayor. The first item is kind of a morphed motion, but it's actually going to be a request of a motion to approve the petition to ask for court approval to maintain the additional 5 mills on real estate. The city's going through their budget process right now. Under the third-class city code, we're limited to 30 mills on real estate, but we have the ability to ask court approval to levy an additional 5 mills. Obviously, we used to go to court for the additional 5 mills, plus the EIT increase when we were under Act 47. So what this is merely a petition to ask the court for the approval to levy an additional 5 mills to help with our budget.
So
Anything on the question?
And we do have a tentative date for,
Appearing before the county judge.
yes, appearing before the county judge, I believe on December 17th.
That's correct.
Roll call.
Mr. Duganitz?
yes.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Mrs. Moore?
Yes.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
And Mayor?
Yes.
The motion carries.
Next, we have an ordinance, this would be the first reading of ordinance 2024-08 regarding the regulation and conduct and advertising of yard sales, garage sales, and similar types of sales within the city of Shamokin, and imposing penalties for violations thereof. Whereas the city of Shamokin wishes to adopt an ordinance regulating the conduct and advertising of yard sales, garage sales, and similar types of sales within the city of Shamokin. Now therefore be ordained by the council of the city of Shamokin that section 1 purpose, this ordinance is intended to ensure that any yard sales conducted or advertised in the city of Shamokin are done so in a manner which protects that public health, safety, and welfare of those in the city by preserving the character and value of the neighborhoods in which the yard sales may occur, preventing prolonged or perpetual yard sales, preventing nuisances, and complying with existing city ordinances, codes, regulations, including the zoning ordinance. This ordinance shall be known and cited as the Shamokin City Yard Sale Ordinance. Section 3, definitions, unless otherwise expressly stated, the following terms when used in the ordinance shall be defined as set forth in this section. Advertising shall mean posting any flyer, sign, poster, bulletin, or other form of written communication regarding yard sale in a place able to be seen by passers-by, other motorists, bicyclists, or pedestrians from a public street or sidewalk. City shall mean the city of Shamokin. Person shall mean any natural person, association, partnership, firm, corporation, organization, or other entity. The singular shall include the plural and vice versa. Personal property shall mean, but is not limited to household goods, merchandise, tools, clothes, toys, crafts, surplus items, and all other items which are not real property or interest in real property. Yard sales shall mean all sales in the city titled garage sales, yard sales, tag sales, porch sales, lawn sales, attic sales, basement sale, rummage sale, flea market, or any similar casual sale of tangible personal property. A public sale of personal property conducted on a residential property, and a public sale of personal property conducted on a non-residential property, not regularly used and properly permitted for the public sale of personal property. Regulated conduct, no person shall conduct any yard sale within the city in violation of this ordinance. No person shall advertise within the city for any yard sale regardless of the location of the yard sale in the manner in violation of this ordinance. No person shall permit any yard sale to occur in violation of this ordinance. This ordinance shall not be applicable to persons selling goods pursuant to an order of process of court, persons acting in accordance with their powers and duties of public official, any person selling or advertising for sale an item of personal property which are specifically named or described in the advertisement, and which separate items do not exceed 9 in number. Notwithstanding any provisions of this ordinance, any person may sell up to 9 secondhand articles without being subject to the provisions of this ordinance. Any publisher of a newspaper, magazine, or other publication or other communication media who publishes or broadcasts anything in good faith without knowledge of its false, deceptive, or misleading character, or without knowledge of the provision of this ordinance have not been complied with. Any sale conducted by any legitimate business or commercial or industrial establishment properly zoned under the zoning regulations of the city of Shamokin, and any other sale conducted by a business or commercial or industrial establishment in the protection of the non-conforming use section of the zoning laws, or by any vendor dealer when the sale is conducted in a property zoned area and is not otherwise prohibited by the laws or ordinances of the city of Shamokin. Sales done by a bona fide charitable, educational, cultural, and governmental institution, civic group, service, club, religious or fraternal society, or other tax exempt organization, provided however that the burden of proof for establishing the exemption shall be on the organization. Any public auction conducted by the auctioneer licensed by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania having a duration of no more than 2 days. General regulations, only 4 yard sales may be held per year on the same property in the city. No yard sale may continue for more than 3 consecutive days. No yard sale may be conducted on the public sidewalks of the city. And then general advertising requirements shall not occur more than 7 days before the day the yard sale begins and shall be completely removed no later than the day after the yard sale. No single advertising item shall be greater than 6 square feet. No advertising shall be placed on the road. No advertising shall interfere with the visibility at road intersections, nor shall any advertising exceed 36 inches in height above the center line of the road when placed on a road intersection. No advertising shall interfere with the ability of the public to safely use any road or sidewalk. No advertising shall be in any way placed on or attached to any utility pole, bridge structure, traffic sign, street sign, or other public sign. No advertising shall be placed on any private property other than the property where the advertised yard sale is occurring unless permission is obtained from the property owner prior to placement. All advertising shall include on the front the date of the yard sale's beginning and ending, the address for the property where the yard sale is occurring. Any person who violates, upon conviction of the summary proceeding, be sentenced to pay the cost of prosecution, a fine, first instance $100 for the first offense, $250, for the second offense, and $500 for the third offense. Every single item of advertising in violation shall be a separate offense. This ordinance shall be enforced by the City of Shamokin Police Department or their designee of the City Shamokin Code Office. Any advertising found in violation may be immediately removed by the city and destroyed if not claimed by the owner at the city office within 7 calendar days. All parts of this ordinance which may conflict are hereby repealed, and this ordinance will take effect 10 days after enactment.
They were a lot of sales.
No, I'll do it. So we need a motion on this.
Yes.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Okay.
Anything on the question?
Just Chief Psycho and
Yes.
Bruce, you guys read these, you're good, there's nothing on here that's an issue?
They are going to be on public display starting tomorrow
Yep.
morning for everybody in this room and for the public to review. They'll also, which I I don't mean to sound like I'm teaching you, but it will also be advertised in the paper, for a period of days.
Yeah, no, I just wanna make sure that we're all good before we get that.
I really think it closes some gaps in some old ordinances that the city had. Right, Bruce? Did you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I heard. I'm just wondering who's gonna take the time to do this also.
Yeah,
Chase the
yeah, it
artists.
always comes down to that, doesn't it? It really does.
Well, could be a
But at least
designee.
we'll have the ordinance, and things change in the city and we're more able to enforce what we have in our people.
Correct, without it, we can't do anything.
Yeah.
With it, we can.
Exactly.
Correct.
So we do motion.
There's a motion in the second already.
Mayor and Keeler.
Mr. DeGanis,
Yes.
Mr. McLaughlin.
Yes.
Mrs. Moyer,
Yes.
Mr. Taylor,
Yes.
and Mayor Olber.
Yes.
The motion carries unanimous. Next one.
The next item would be request a motion to approve the first reading of ordinance 2024-09, amending ordinance 450, the solid waste ordinance. Whereas the city of Shamokin wishes to modify the solid waste ordinance. Now therefore be it ordained by the council of the city of Shamokin that section 1 definitions amend section 450-2 to include the following: household garbage, any waste material generated from residential properties, including but not limited to refuse, food waste, used household items, and any non-commercial waste. City trash receptacle, any trash bins or containers placed in public areas by the city for the purpose of collecting waste from public use. City shall mean the city of Shamokin. Section 2, prohibition, the following shall be added to section 450-3, dumping prohibited. Subsection D, it shall be unlawful for any individual to deposit or cause to be deposited household garbage, trash, rubbish, refuse into any city trash receptacle. E, this prohibition applies to all residents, visitors, and businesses within the city of Shamokin. Exceptions, the following items may be disposed of in city trash receptacles: waste generated from public events or city-sponsored activities, items that are explicitly designated for public disposal by the city of Shamokin. Subsection 3, preparation and storage. Section 450-6B1 shall now read: containers used for storage of municipal waste shall be of metal, plastic, or fiberglass construction, rust and corrosion resistant, equipped with lids, waterproof and leak-proof, and except in the case of bulk containers, indoor containers shall be a maximum of 20 gallons, and outdoor containers a maximum of 95 gallons in capacity. Anything larger than 95 gallons or 100 pounds will be considered a dumpster and will need to follow dumpster guidelines, see Chapter 206. Section 450-6B2 shall now read: a sufficient number of containers shall be utilized to contain all municipal waste materials that are required to be placed in containers generated during periods between regularly scheduled weekly collections or more often with excess trash accumulation. Section 450-661 shall now read: all garbage shall be drained of excess foods and wrapping paper or be placed in plastic bags before being placed in the waste storage containers of metal, plastic, or fiberglass construction. Excuse me, waste containers should be rust and corrosion resistant, equipped with lids, waterproof and leak-proof, and all ashes shall be free of any burning material before being deposited for collection. Add the following section to 456C1A: all bags that are being placed after collection that are not in a proper storage container must be of heavy weight, 3.0 milliliter or thicker, non-see-through construction, and must maintain physical integrity when lifted. All bags must be securely tied near the top of the bag tightly so no waste or odor can escape and no rodents or animals can access. At no time shall thin, lightweight, interior household bags be placed out for collection only. Heavy-duty, non-see-through bags only. Enforcement: the Shamokin code officer and the police department or designee shall have authority to enforce this ordinance. Storage of municipal waste amended 450-17 to include the following. Container lids must fit properly and be kept tightly sealed or covered at all times. Solid waste in bags shall not protrude or extend above the top or sides of the container. Reusable containers shall be kept in sanitary condition at all times. Interior of the container shall be thoroughly cleaned, rinsed, drained, and disinfected as often as necessary to prevent the accumulation of liquids, solids, and odors from the bottom and sides of the containers. With the exception of pickup days, the containers shall be properly stored on the owner's or customer's premises at all times. At no time shall the containers be stored on public sidewalks, walkways, streets, alleys, rights of ways, or another property without proper written consent from said property owner, city code office. At no time shall garbage, municipal waste be burned within the city limits. Garbage containers shall be placed at the collection point no earlier than 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the day preceding collection and shall be returned to their normal stored location on said property by 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time of day collection. At no time should the garbage containers restrict travel on any walkway, street, or alley. If any section or clause of this is deemed to be held invalid or constitutional, it does not affect this ordinance, and this ordinance shall be effective upon signing. And it's enacted at this regular meeting of the City of Council.
Can you read that again?
No.
Could you repeat that sentence?
Okay, that's fine, just making sure.
Can I give a motion?
No, without,
Yeah. You know, it's trying to say my notes.
Do we have anything on the question?
Councilman DeGanis?
Yes.
Councilman McLaughlin?
yes.
Councilwoman Mayor?
Yes.
Councilman Colbert?
Yes.
And Mayor Ulrich?
Yes.
The motion carries unanimous.
As Mr. Slavy said, just an executive session at the end of the meeting.
Right. Okay, any citizen comments?
Wanna go home?
All right, then we will adjourn for executive session. There'll be no further business discussed when we come out. The meeting will be adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are we going in the back room?